Talking Cougar softball with head coach Wendy Spratt here on the Cougar Coaches Show on Mediacom Channel 22. Full schedule for the Cougars, home and away dates on the website, ColumbiaCougars.com, or you can also watch previous episodes of the Coaches Show. Head Coach Spratt in her first issue of the Coaches Show here today. Welcome. Appreciate it. Cougars at 3-1 right now to start the season. Played some games already. Got a home schedule starting up on the 16th. Let's talk about the girls that make it happen on the field for you, and we'll start in the circle. Your ace of the staff. She's a senior. Can we milk her for any more? It's hard to believe already. Senior season. I know she's one of the players. Valerie Teeter, number 13 from Bevier, Missouri, one of the players that when the opposing teams come through, there's those players that you see on whatever team it is where you're like, is that person still a senior? Or still playing? I thought she graduated 2 seasons ago. I guarantee you there's some players on teams in the AMC conference that are going to be very happy come graduation time, and Valerie Teeter has her Ivy ceremony and is done in the circle for you guys. Just a fantastic talent with what she does out there in the circle, with not just statistic-wise, but what she can do pitching.
Right. Val is just amazing. She came to us as a freshman, a little bit under the radar screen, and she's been amazing ever since she stepped in the pitching circle. She's very even-keeled. You can't tell that you ruffle her feathers, but she's very determined, wants to win more than any player I've probably ever had. She's just amazing. She's smooth. It looks very easy for her, but she is. She's very dominating force on the mound.
Oh, most definitely. And that you talk about, I mean, and the same for, baseball, whatever level of baseball you're watching, obviously. Those of you parents who have kids that are little leaguers, that you run into that one kid that just mows everybody down and you can't touch them. It completely changes the aspect of a softball game, especially in a situation where maybe you're facing one of the opposing aces as well, and every single run is crucial when you get into these 1- and 2-run ball games.
Right. She's just been amazing. Last year she was second-team All-American. She had 410 strikeouts. She's back to business. 16
in one game or something? There was a record. I know that she had. I don't remember what the number was.
Yeah, she had 18 strikeouts in a game.
You start going back through. I remember calling the game, and you look back in the scores book, go to commercial break, and you're trying to count up all the. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. So hold on. So I'm thinking instead of the student section maybe hanging K's, we hang V's this year for Valerie instead.
Valerie.
Doing the K. I mean, that's how we score. I don't know. There's too many to count sometimes with what she does. And then on a game where she's not pitching, she'll be over at third base again this year as your third baseman.
And she also leads our offense typically for the last 3 years.
That's another.
In almost every offensive category as well. So.
Which is unbelievable. And you see that more obviously in softball players, I think, than you would in baseball at different levels that they play more. And for several times last year, I know she would also pitch in game 2, depending on how many innings or how hard she worked in the first game. Is that still obviously a balance of the other pitchers versus and also what she can do that day?
It depends on our staff and where they are. Currently, we have a pitcher hurt. It depends on the competition. Obviously, when it comes to conference, we're more likely to throw our 2 games in a row just to make sure that we get.
You hear a lot about pitch count and so on. Is that something that you guys have? Yes and no. I mean, it just depends on the.
I'll use it just to gauge where we're at with an athlete, but there's not a.
It's not like a
magic
number,
There's not a magic number.
Okay. She's at 80. I don't think she's pitched 80 in a game sometimes with as many times as she's gotten batters to strike out. Talk about some of the other girls that are coming back to your Cougar staff, the Cougar team this year from last year's team that went to the national tournament.
Okay. Casey Rehagen is our number 2 pitcher right now. Plays second base when she's not pitching. She had her first outing on Saturday morning and came up with 11 strikeouts against a good hitting team in Lyon College. So we were real impressed and pleased with her performance there. She bats number 2 in the lineup, so that's why she's at second base when she's not pitching.
Right.
So she's done an amazing job, and I think that she's done a lot better this year.
Yeah.
Already starting out than she was at the end of last year.
Right.
So.
And again, and then around the defense, I know you've already kind of made some experiments with the defense, the players that are back, but Tori Gellert is your catcher.
Right. Tori will be the number 1 catcher. She'll probably catch Val most of the season. Now we have Morgan Bounds from Jeff City. She went to Lindenwood for a year, took a year off, and now she's here at Columbia College. And she's also a very good catcher, very good outfielder that will also see time behind the plate.
Right. And what about let's go around the infield a little bit. Let's say who's hanging out at third base when Valerie's striking everybody out.
Marley Hayes
okay.
from Jeff City.
Right.
Big kid, very strong, athletic. I thought she was good when I recruited her, but still every day in practice she
Right.
does something that amazes me. So it's not too often that players are better than what you thought.
So it's a good thing, yeah. You're like, wow, we're really good.
So she hit her first home run over the center field fence this weekend, a grand slam against William Jewell in our second game on Saturday. So
Well, and that's good to have, to spread the wealth with the bats. Not that you haven't had a lot of power, but, Valerie really has been your over-the-wall home run hitter for the most part, and to have another couple of bats to sprinkle on that in that lineup can be a great counter, obviously, on the offensive side of the game.
yeah, absolutely. She's hitting in the 4 spot, and she really did a great job over the weekend.
And first base is
Rachel Coleman
Rachel Coleman's back at first.
from last year,
Oh,
and she was our 4-hitter last year, moved to the 5 spot, and that may change around a little bit depending on who's hitting at what time of the year, but right now she's at number 5 and she's doing an amazing job.
And over at the shortstop position, who's there?
New player, Kristen Eichen. She's from Blair Oaks, out of Jeff City as well. She's very, very quick, has a great arm, a lot of range. She's, again, our leadoff hitter.
There you go.
It's nice to get some speed up there. Last year we weren't as fast, I don't think. We should have a lot more stolen bases, especially with her.
Yeah, get that leadoff hitter on, and hopefully a pitch later at second base immediately to line up the rest of the offense for the Columbia College Cougars. And a couple of players, I know your experiment, we mentioned about Linda Dillard joining your staff as a coach this year with the outfield experience that she has. Tell us a little bit about who are some of the girls in the outfield.
Chelsea Crane played left field last year, and she's got a lot of range, a very good arm. She's left-handed, so it makes her great at left field, but she's got the most range right now, so she's in center field for us. Sarah Ruff is a junior college transfer from Three Rivers. She played left field over the weekend. And then right field, we have returner Ashley Browner, generally playing the first game, and Whitney Fletchall, who was a shortstop for Jeff City High School when they won the state tournament, is currently playing out there. So. And
again, looking down the roster, all the girls from the state of Missouri, which is a good thing, a good not problem to have, but a good situation, especially when you've got some of the local schools that have been really good. But again, you mentioned Jefferson City and Blair Oaks and all these schools that are now really coming up, and there's been a lot of girls that come out of that Jeff City program and winning a state title, obviously, to be able to protect them, especially with several other schools, obviously, in conference, probably looking at a lot of those same girls to win that recruiting battle to get them to play for you over off a range line there is a big deal.
It is. Actually, all 5 of our freshmen won a state championship, so that doesn't happen very often.
No, I was going to say,
that was pretty exciting.
Yeah, well, that's...
I had signed most of them before they won the state championship.
Still, a little extra motivation. I better win a championship. I'm going to go play for the Cougars. So great talent on the field. Again, you can learn more about all the girls on the website, ColumbiaCougars.com, and the first home game coming up on the 16th, a doubleheader with the Lindenwood Lady Lions coming in from St. Charles. We'll preview that action a little bit, talk a little bit about what else is coming up on the schedule in that AMC conference for the Cougars, who won a share of that and won the conference tournament a year ago. Columbia College preseason number 20. When does the first official poll come out? Another couple of weeks?
The end of March.
End of March, so you get a full, a little more even as far as number of games for everybody.
Well, then some of the northern schools will have actually a game played by then.
I think we had bad weather here. Imagine, yeah, right. Schools in North Dakota and Michigan or wherever, they haven't played any yet. So we'll come back. We'll talk a little bit about the upcoming schedule with head coach Wendy Spratt, Columbia Cougars softball team here on Mediacom Channel 22.